Joining us now to help us understand the latest political headlines is Tony Campbell, our buddy from Political Science Department over at Towson University. Thanks so much for coming in.
Kelly.
I don't know where we start. A lot going on. We're coming off of a speech that the president gave to the joint sessions of Congress. It seemed to be received very well.
Very well, to the point that I think Trevor Noah on The Daily Show kind of lost a gasket like the next day or something. The president did what he needed to do.
They said he seemed very presidential.
Very presidential. He was measured, even when he mentioned the thing about the immigrant program voice, and there was some kind of snickering from the interesting parts of the aisles. He kept it cool. He kept on right on message.
Navy SEAL moment was very, very moving.
I found that the visuals, and this is something that I think that the president is going to do, is that, and remember we talked during the campaign that he knew that it was a reality TV show for about 2 years, and the visuals between that message and that speech compared to the visuals of the Democratic response, I have no idea what the Democrat Party was thinking then.
No.
I mean,
former Kentucky.
It was
Alabama, rather.
Yeah, it was Kentucky.
No, it was
It was like Kentucky, but I mean, the optics were so much in contrast.
Sitting in a dark room, pretty much. So it seems like every day that there's a new headline kind of going against any progress has been made. How much of this is just partisan politics and legitimate concerns?
I think that Margaret Kumar, who was a former professor at Towson, one of my colleagues, she mentioned something about cooperation versus conflict. That the press corps and the White House has been doing this dance since there's been a press corps. I mean, if you ask Bill Clinton what he thought of the press corps when a Monica Lewinsky situation was going down, he didn't like them either. Because it's not about the president, it's not about whether they like the office or the person holding office or not. It's about the story and how many eyeballs you can get watching your TV show. And so, this kind of stuff, I mean, the first 100 days of the Obama administration, talking about things like simplifying the tax code and making sure that we're gonna cut wasteful spending. Sounds like something that Donald Trump's been saying for like the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But that's the same thing that President Obama was saying. Every transition is rough, and they didn't do themselves any favors in the first couple weeks with all the stuff that was going on. But yeah, this is just the beginning. I mean, if you think this is just going to level out,
it's not.
It's not.
Well, what about the Russia thing? Is that going to go away?
When they find something else, this is going to be 4 years of the press doing what the press does, which is pushing for a story, and the White House refuting it or shifting the perception onto something else.
And I'm sure a lot of this is because of his concerns about the leaks, the president's concerns about leaks. A lot of it is because maybe his lack of cooperation with the media.
Well, but it doesn't really matter how much cooperation you give, because the whole point of the press is to try to get the story. The whole point of the White House press secretary and the communications director, well, I don't even think they have a communications director at this point.
I don't think so either.
Is to keep the press from getting the story. And so there's always going to be that conflict. Now, there's going to be times, and I think that each administration is different. I think the Republican presidents tend to have it tougher. But even, like I said, I mean, Bill Clinton, and there were periods that President Obama wasn't exactly thrilled about the press either.
So basically, stay tuned. Lots of leaps and turns every day. All right. Tony Campbell, professor at Towson, thank you so much for coming in, always giving us some good insight, putting it in focus for us.